Good morning and welcome to PSJA Java Chat, your morning chat with your favorite PSJA ISD Instructional Technology Integration Specialist, where we discuss EdTech tools and trends with invited guests and, of course, our morning coffee. In episode 9 of Java Chat, REIT-MOC's campus integration technologist Jonathan Chapa-Trigo mentions using YouTube as a resource and discusses how we must use technology integration in the classroom to allow for student empowerment in a global society.
All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Java Chat, and this is our first one in May and probably our last one for this school year. Today, I have Marco Todas with me, and I'm Debbie Pingle, we're your technology integration specialist. And we have our special guest with us today, Jonathan Chapa-Trigo. He is from REIT-MOC Elementary. He is a teacher, and he is our CIT at that campus. So and there's Valentin Guetta joining us as well. Welcome, Valentin. So Jonathan, welcome. We're so happy that you're here today. Let's go ahead and start by you telling us about your educational background and introducing yourself.
Well, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure. Well, education, I was never in my plans. I always wanted to be a doctor, and then I tended to be a lawyer, and then I was having I was having a crisis. I couldn't find a job that I like to do. So I started as a TA. I'm like, why not? So that year, 2019, I started as a TA at REIT-MOC Elementary, and I loved it. I loved the kids. I loved my school. I loved everything. So that same year, I got everything done to become a teacher. So 2020 was my first year as a teacher, and then COVID happened. And then, from there, I've been in second grade since then.
Wow, I did not know that, Jonathan. So
Yeah.
it's neat to hear that. And I guess with all those professions that you were thinking of, like, hey, a teacher inspires everyone to do all that. So I'm glad you found the educational career, and you do an awesome job. So
thank you. And yes, I have an aunt that she's a teacher in Mexico. So it's like, really, if you think about it, like I had it like my whole life in there, but then I never saw it.
nice.
Hey, Jonathan, so that's super interesting that you got into teaching and I guess into probably technology in 2020, because I guess we all kind of had to do it, right? Like we kind of forced us to be in it, whether we wanted to or not. Which was going into my second question, and maybe it was COVID, but maybe it was something else. But like, what got you into using educational technology?
Okay, so actually that year, 2020, the year after, that's when I became a CIT. So I became the CIT, and so technology, I feel like it all started, like I remember when I think I was living in Mexico, so we used to the SN messaging, and then the coding in MySpace, where all you have the best background, you added music. So I guess that's when I started doing music technology. And then like having the kids do, like, I remember when we had those old Promethean boards. Mm-hmm. So I had I was going to Google, showing them places. I like to travel, so I would take them to places. I remember we visited the Museum of Frida Kahlo in Mexico City. So they went in, they were looking at it, and I mean, that's when like everything changed.
Yeah, we had to step up and use that technology.
Yes.
That's good that you can take them anywhere in the world, with that.
Yes.
Very nice.
Thank you for sharing that, Jonathan. Good morning. Sorry I got here a little bit late. So you kind of shared with us already the experience about using technology for instructional purpose, but I want to dig in a little bit deep on that. Talk about your experience about using technology for your classroom after you became a CIT. What are some of the tools that you were using when you started being a CIT?
Pues let's say, okay, I started using a lot of GiveKit, I think was at the time. GiveKit was free back then. So like I like a lot of gamified things, BlueKit, Kahoot, the BlueKit, and then all the kids started loving it. Now I also tried out the Owl. I don't know if you guys remember when we were in COVID.
Yeah.
Like we were hybrid. So the kids loved it because like the ones at home were able to see me, and then the ones that I had in my classroom were able to see me too. So I think integrating all that, like it was fun for the students, and then technically preparing them for the new world. I mean, everything you have to type now. That star they have to type, and it's like they don't have that experience other than texting maybe on their phones and their iPads, but like typing on like computer, it's completely different.
So out of like all the tech tools that you use and that you share with your fellow, co-teachers at CIT, what are your favorite, like what's your very favorite that you've utilized, or do you have a favorite that you like to share, with the teachers and make sure that they use?
Okay, one thing that I do use a lot, it's OneNotes. I have it in my iPad, so every time I'm going into a parent conference, having a meeting with another teacher, with my administrators, I take my OneNotes, I start typing everything there on my iPad, and then if I need the parent signature, I just grab my pen and they sign there, and like their faces is like, okay, like he brings the whole iPad to the meeting. This must be really important. But I mean, it's important because we're talking about the children.
I love that. That's one of my favorite tools as well. And you can keep everything in one spot and you're not losing it.
Yes.
You don't lose that piece of paper that you had them sign. It's in their digital, and you can go to any of your devices then, since it's on OneDrive.
Yes, I can use it on my phone, on my desktop.
Nice. I love that.
Yes.
And we could utilize that with our students as well. They can have a OneNote. So just think about that, teachers out there.
Yes.
Yes. We all love OneNote. We're all huge OneNote fans over here. So that is super awesome that you use it. Hey Jonathan, so I was gonna ask, you teach second grade, you said earlier, correct?
Yes.
Awesome. So I guess I have kind of a two-part question here for you. So what challenges have you faced when using technology in the classroom, but also because as a second grade teacher, kind of getting them ready? So first question is, what challenges have you faced? And I know your kiddos will eventually start test going forward. Have you how do you address digital literacy, or digital, like I like keyboard? Do you address keyboarding whatsoever? Because you're at that really crucial stage when they're going from non-testing to testing. You know what I mean?
Yes. Okay. The first challenge, and I think like all my lower grade teachers know it, the logging in. We make them
Okay.
cards. Even with the cards, they struggle. It's like, I'm like, Mijito, you need to put the at. So you show them how to put the at. And then the PSJA student, they're not typing it correctly. So so that's the first challenge. From there, I feel like the kids, once they start loving a program like learning.com, the keyboarding, they love it. But then we started adding, besides the keyboarding, I made like classes for them to do testing skills, like the dragging, the choosing, because it's different to like, you see your teacher do it, but when you came to do it, it's like, it's different, right? So that's something that I like doing with my kids. And hopefully they're ready for next year.
Yeah, let's use learning.com even more. We need that. We have that program, and it's awesome because it teaches those technology skills. It's going to help with the testing. And like you said, it has the keyboarding and the kids love it. So that's good to hear that they love it.
Yes.
Thank you. That was really good. Thank you for saying that you use keyboarding for learning.com. That makes me very proud. So now talk about your own life and your personal life and the uses of technology. How has technology changed your view in life? In your own time?
I feel like, and this is something that just happened yesterday. So I use technology for everything, like my phone, like everything in my house. So yesterday I left to go pick up a pizza, but my front door, you need to put your thumb, so it opens, but it ran out of battery. So I'm like, what am I gonna do? Like I click and it's like, oh, you have no battery. You have no battery. I'm like, so now how do I get inside my house, right? So I had to go through the garage, come inside, and it's like, okay, technology, you always have to have like another option, right?
Mhm.
But then at the end, the kids, that's real world. We need to face it. Like technology, it's in here. AI, it's here. So let's face it and let's be prepared.
That's so funny because I've had that happen to me before. But thank God, mine is not a thumb; it's the code. But
Mhm.
it does have the option of like if you have a 9-volt battery, you can just plug it, like put it in the front, and then you can put your key, and then it will open it. But
Well, it
it's
has to go
hilarious.
the key slot, right? So, but I
No,
didn't.
no, 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 no. Like there's an option to, do you know the 9-volt, the square battery?
Uh-huh.
In the front of my keypad, you can put it right underneath it, and then you can put your key, and then it will open it.
Oh,
But
so you provide it.
but that happens after like 2 weeks of telling me time to replace your battery. Time to replace
Yeah.
your battery.
Always have that plan B.
Yeah.
Or do it when it asks you to do it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So Jonathan, I know you've talked about a little bit about what kind of inspired you to use technology in the classroom, and I know you inspire others, and you have your coworker here, Denise, who I'm sure I know she uses a lot of technology as well, and you have inspired your colleagues, to use it. Is there anything else that just really inspired you in the beginning to use technology in the class with your students?
I mean, I feel like my kids, like my students, they inspire me because I have a lot of like, I'm in the lower grades, right? So my neighbors, they're lower grades as well. So I see a lot of kids walking in with their little Chromebooks now. So they're like, oh, I need help. I'm like, okay, what do you need? And then if it's something that my kids know how to do it, like maybe change, how sometimes they get the dock magnified in their Chromebooks, so their screen is literally split in half.
Yeah.
My kids now go do it for them because I'm over here in intervention, and so I don't get like time out of mine. My instruction, right, to help the other little students. So they inspire me. I mean, they do what I can do, but I mean, in true thing, one thing I was struggling to change a setting, and I'm like, I don't know, like, let's do a power watch, let's erase it. And then one little kid, he comes, oh no, Mr. Chapa, you just do this and this. So he went into the settings, changed the whole settings, and the computer went back to normal.
Isn't that great? That's what it's all about, is us teaching and inspiring the kids. And I'm glad that they're inspiring you. And they sometimes know more than us and they figure
Exactly.
things out. Yeah. They're not afraid to like click anything for sure. I know some educators are afraid, oh, it's going to delete it or it's going to ruin it. But kids are not afraid of that. So they learn. That's awesome.
Hey, Jonathan, I know you're the CIT of the campus, and you probably get a good amount of questions asked to you from other teachers, whether it's instructional. May you probably get some questions uh, for other stuff too, like even if it's not instructional, like, oh, there's something wrong with my computer, or there's something wrong with the printer. I'm sure you get asked all these different kinds of questions, but I'm sure you also interact with teachers who maybe don't use technology too much in the classroom, and maybe I want to ask you, what is your advice for teachers that are a little reluctant to use technology in the classroom? How do you get them to go from kind of an old school mentality to kind of the newer age of teaching and learning?
I think we can go back to from last question. It was like, okay, just do it. Like the kids do it. Like they're not afraid. Don't be afraid to do it. Like there's nothing that can happen. Like just do it. If you move something, just click undo. Click the little flechita back. Uh, Close it. Turn it off. I don't know. We'll figure it out. If anything, like power wash your computer and it will be back to new. So don't be scared to it. Like just try it. Nothing will happen. And if it does, I mean, I don't know.
Oh, I mean, that's a great answer. I mean, you know, it's I like that mentality, kind of like, just try it, because I mean, what's it gonna hurt? And especially like now that I think that we're past the testing kind of phase of STAR, I think this is a really good time for teachers to kind of try stuff out, because they can kind of test things out during this little time and see, okay, this worked or this didn't work, and then you can try to use it for the next school year. I mean, that's just my mentality. I think this is a pretty good time to kind of trial and error, but I like the attitude. I like the try things out, because I mean, especially during this time when testing and for the most part grading is pretty much done. What's the harm? Let's try to learn something new, so that when the next school year comes around, hey, if something worked, if something didn't work.
Yes, I mean, just try it, like be creative. Try something new. Like this time, it's like you have it for yourself. Enjoy with your kids. I mean, before our iPads have to be stored again or like cleaned. So let's enjoy them.
And like you said at the beginning, like one of the hardest things was the kids logging in. And so some people give up right away and say, oh, they can't do it. So I think, our advice is keep trying. Like, it's going to get easier. It might not be, it's not going to be maybe super easy the first time you use a new program, a technology program. But once they use it a couple times, then it gets easier.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree with you. I kept on thinking in my head right now, you were a Nike employee saying, just do it. Just do it. I was cracking up. Thank you, Jonathan, for sharing. That's very awesome. So what has been your proudest moment in using technology? Like, I want you to think of a time that you were like, oh my God. Chills.
Okay, I used a lot of like the Nearpods, field trips.
Mhm.
I like remember when Debbie, you were on my TCLCs and campus and we were talking about the Google Earth.
Yes.
Then I went back and then the kids, like, they made a project using Google Earth and like they went presented, like they were showing everything. And then a couple of weeks after, they're like, oh, look, Mr. Chapa, you can do this. So they show me different things. So technically it's like giving the tools to the students and then they take it away and then they do what they need to do, like explore. They're not scared. Like, they just do it. And I mean, that makes me proud that like I'm making them people, because I mean, they're gonna be our leaders one day, that they are not afraid to try something new.
To the
I love
moment
it.
of you, yeah, that's amazing. Like
I do.
you feel like mamá de las gallinas.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mother hen,
but
that's
you're
what
proud because I mean, at
Yes.
the end of the day, like they're gonna go, they're gonna do what, like they're gonna be real people. So
Yeah.
you see them there, like, oh, second grader cannot log into the computer. We don't know. Maybe they're gonna be our next doctors or next presidents. Like,
Sure they are.
yes.
No, that's great. And that's what we're here. That's what it's all about, is inspiring those kids. And technology's here to stay. I don't think it's ever leaving us from here on out. Everything keeps developing.
More and more.
More and more every day. Things change. There's new, now we have Chat GPT and AI, helping us and assisting us. So we have to learn how to use that and utilize those tech tools as we go. So as we end our session today, Jonathan, I'm so happy that you joined us. Is there anything else that you'd like to share, or is there anything that you feel sets you apart from other educators?
I mean, I think just going back, like, don't be scared. I mean, we all been there. Like, oh, you get this new program. I'm like, oh, what is it? But I mean, you start Googling and you start seeing it. And then sometimes, like, it doesn't work the first time. But then if your mentality is there, like, you keep trying, you're like, okay, well, I can do this. Like, maybe I was just not in the mindset at the first time. And you keep doing it. Don't give up. I mean, that's all I can take up.
I love that. And start small. You don't have to like dive in and do all technology in your class all day long or anything. Just start with something this week, try it out, and see how it works for you. And not every tool is going to work for every teacher.
Exactly.
I love the mentality, Jonathan. So keep promoting that at your campus to all teachers, especially those who might be a little bit reluctant to try new things. You know, like some of the programs we use here in the district, like Nearpod, and going back to what Debbie said, you know, start slow. Like if you don't know a single thing about, you know, say an application like Nearpod, like just mess around with the search bar, mess around with the library, and then the next day do something else, mess around with an activity. So I like the mentality. I love it. Start small, just like what Debbie said, and don't be afraid. So great message, great positivity.
We're so lucky to have great, fabulous CITs like you, Jonathan, that you are inspiring, you know, teachers at your campus. When I visit your campus, I see others, you know, trying to use technology. You know, we don't have 100% anywhere we go yet, but I see more and more people being successful with it. And we're, because of you, like you're inspiring them to, you know, to try it and, you know, pushing forward with that and helping them with the training. So I know they can reach out to you, and it's good.
Thank you. And I mean, if you don't know anything, just YouTube it. I mean, you have to continue learning, and then if YouTube has many answers that we don't even know, YouTube it, and there you can find an answer there.
For sure.
They can YouTube PSJA Instructional Technology.
Yeah,
to go to
the
our
short.
Yes, we're building those up as well. So yeah, YouTube is your friend.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us this early morning and having coffee with us. And thanks to Denise for joining us as well this morning. So take care, Jonathan. Have a fabulous day. Val, Marco.
Thank you. Have a good
Bye.
one. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Bye.
Bye-bye.